Hello everybody, welcome to Builder By. I'm your host Gil Boyd. The video we've just seen, we showed how to download the Windows 10 ISO. Now that we have it on the USB thumb drive, we're going to do an installation of Windows 10. And what our plan is because we've upgraded our NVMe drive on the X399 chipset from a 1 terabyte to a 2 terabyte, we're now going to do a clean install of Windows for Windows 10 Pro. Because we've already activated Windows, the key is already on Microsoft's server, so we're going to put this in, do the install. We are not going to have a network connection. We just want to get Windows installed. We don't want to deal with updates. Once we get Windows installed, then we'll plug this in. Now, another reason we're doing that is there's two types of accounts, an online account or an offline account. We're creating an offline account, and that's another discussion. By keeping this unplugged, offline account. Now we need to take our thumb drive, plug it in. Now we've got our installation media ready. Once we reboot the computer, it will automatically see that drive, and away we go. Now, I'm going to reboot this computer. I will flip over so you can see what's going on the screen in real time. Drive is in, so we'll go back over to the computer, save and exit. Yes, now we reboot. And I'll flip back over as soon as that comes back up so you can see it. So you're not looking at a black screen. So you can watch the entire process. We are now installing Windows 10, and that starts the installation process. It's all automatic. Now this should go through pretty fast. Language, default, time and currency, default, and the keyboard default. So we're going to click on next. We're going to install now. Now remember, this is a new install, a clean install, so the next spot is really crucial because we're not going to use a key. I'm going to show you how to get past that. Right here, we're not going to put in a key where it says I do not have a product key. We're going to click on that. Now, this is the next important distinction. We're looking at several different versions of Windows. Again, we're only interested in two, Windows 10 Home or Windows 10 Pro. The other versions, the N versions, historically in the past, those were the versions that did not have the media tools in them or the codecs. Don't go there, don't mess with that. It's a hassle trying to get those codecs in if you don't want Windows Media Player. Let Windows Media Player install, get the codecs. So we're only dealing with Windows 10 Home or Windows 10 Pro, and our only concern is Windows 10 Pro. So we have to make that selection, and then we'll go to the next step. So as long as you know the distinction, we're going to click on Windows 10 Pro. We're going to click on Next. Now this is another important distinction. We've got to get past EULA, like we have a choice. Now the default is the top for the upgrade. We are not doing an upgrade. We're doing a brand new clean install to a new drive. So what we want is the second option, which is custom. And from this custom install, Windows Only Advanced, this is pretty automatic, we see one drive. Now this sometimes can get a little bit confusing to people, and if you've done a drive and you've been installing several times, because you're going from MBR to GPT, without getting into that discussion, if it sets up for GPT and you try to come back and do an install again, Windows freaks out and says, I can't install on a GPT, which means you have to go through and delete all the partitions, let it recreate them, and recreate the GPT. It's just the way the install routine works right now. So this is clean drive, new install, but you have some idea what you have to do if you're doing a reinstall. It happens. Been there, done that. So from this standpoint, we don't have to click on refresh, load driver, because it sees the drive. And this is really important. It's conceptual. As long as Windows can see the controller, it'll see what's on the controller. That's conceptual. It's been that way since Windows 95. So it sees the controller because we're on native chipset support. Native chipset means we're coming off of the controller on the motherboard, not a separate controller that's plugged into the motherboard. That's very important to know that. So we're going to go ahead and just click on next, and it'll be automatic. We like to keep it simple, but we want to explain and let you know what's going on. So as we go to the next step, all we have to do is click on next, and it will automatically format the drive, and away we go. Now, that was pretty simple and straightforward, but that's a really important distinction right there, that it's important to make note of it, what's happening. And if you get messed up and you got to go back, well, you know how to fix that too. So this is a pretty straightforward process. We're installing Windows 10 Pro on a clean new drive, a 2 terabyte. And the reason for the 2 terabyte, this machine is going to be used for content creation. So we're going to have a lot of virtual instruments like native instruments, IK Multimedia, Spitfire Audio, quite a few different libraries. We've hit the wall with a 1 terabyte drive, lasted about 2 years. I'm hoping with the 2 terabyte we'll get maybe 1 to 2 years again out of this. If I had known about the 4 terabyte, I'd have gone ahead and done it, but it came out after we had already processed this. So we're going with the 2 terabyte. 1 to 2 years, and hopefully it'll do what we need. But with all the virtual instruments we've got, and when the deals come around, I want to be ready for them. So, and we'll do some videos about some of those things as it relates to audio interfaces, and we'll get into some of that. But right now, we're just going to stay focused. We're getting Windows installed. Windows 10 Pro. It's one of the nice things about USB 3. So we're copying Windows files, getting files ready, going through the process. Now it's going to reboot. So we're going to say, let's do it now. And as it reboots, I will go back to that screen as soon as it comes back up. Now, I do not have to pull the media out because the first time it sees the media, the second time it sees the drive, and the default is to see the drive first. So it's going to automatically go through and boot that drive because everything is on the drive now. Okay, Windows Media is starting, and everything now is running off the hard drive. So as it goes through the process, it's going to be pretty automatic and straightforward. Some of the defaults we can accept. Not everything has to be changed. A lot of stuff I can live with for now and change later. We just want to get this thing up and running. And of course, the next distinction will be for the online account versus the offline account. Since this machine has a Wi-Fi card in it, it's going to try to create that online account, and we're going to have to say no probably 3 times. Again, that's a separate discussion for those that we've talked about that before. This, we're just trying to get installed with an offline account. So we've downloaded the ISO. We showed that in the previous video. We're now getting Windows 10 installed in this video. In the next video, we may do something where we'll show you how to acquire a key for, inexpensively. A Windows 10 Pro key ought to cost around maybe $10 or $15, depending on who you get it from. We use VIP SCD key. What you have to do, I'll say that for the next video. Okay, we've gone to the next reboot. We're coming back up. I'll flip over to that screen. And as Windows does its thing, when we come up, we'll have some questions to ask. And what we want to do is get to the point where we put an account name so we can start using the computer. Then we'll be satisfied we're up and running. Just a moment. Okay, we'll pick the keyboard layout region. Start with the region United States. We will then go to keyboard. Yes, we do not need a secondary keyboard, so we'll skip that. It wants to connect. Down here in the bottom left, I don't have an internet connection, so we're going to click on that. Now, all this stuff, full setup with a Microsoft account. We're not creating an online account. We're creating an offline account. So I'm going to continue with limited setup. That's just what I want. We're creating an offline account. All I got to do is put in a username. We'll click on next. No password. I can crack it. This machine will always be here. Now, this is a good place, again, to make the distinction. All this stuff can be changed later. I don't have a problem with it. I'm going to leave it on because I want to blow through this and get on. So we're going to click on accept. And what we're accepting is online speech recognition, find my device, inking and typing, location, diagnostic data, tailored experiences. I can turn that off later if I want. Okay. Do more across devices with activity history. Right now, I'm going to say no. And this is if you want timeline and other Windows features to help you continue with what you're doing, even when you switch devices. Again, that's trying to get me to do some online stuff, and I'm going to say no. This is an offline account. Let Cortana, nope. For those that want it, that's fine. I don't. I'm going to install a different browser. So it says hi, and back up we go. We're getting everything ready for you. I appreciate that. Isn't that special? And this might take several minutes. Don't turn off your PC. So the screen went from black to blue, and it's doing its thing while it's configuring. So we're going to have Windows up and running. Doesn't take too long. Pretty simple, easy process. We mentioned a few places where you might be concerned and have some problems. Hopefully that will help you to understand what you need to do so you don't get caught in some kind of a problem. Most important thing is we've downloaded the ISO. It's free. We're installing it without an activation key. Next, we'll do an activation, but we'll show you how to get a key. I will say right now for those that need to get a key, if you're going to buy from one of those unusual places, just remember you're paying with a credit card. So as long as you're paying with a credit card, you'll be safe. But you're going to need to buy an international key, especially if you're in the U.S. Otherwise, you've got to go through a VPN and just keep it simple. Get an international key so that way you can do activation. And I'd like to tell you more about the process, but it's a little bit more involved than just a couple of sentences, and I need to show you some stuff. We're up and running now, so I'm going to save that for another video. So we have Windows 10 up and running. Now at this point, there's a few things I'm going to do to customize. I want to see the icons on the desktop, number one. I want to be able, number two, to have single click, so it's like a web link. I don't want to double click anything. And then there's other things I go through for that. So I'm going to show you that right quick. Hope you find it helpful. Microsoft has a way of changing things for the sake of change. So I'm going to click right click. I'm going to do personalize. I'm going to go to themes. I'm going to go to right here. Scroll down, desktop icon settings. And I'm going to say, give me all my icons. I want the control panel on the desktop. So I can close that window. Next thing I'll do is I'm going to go in the control panel, double click, and I'm going to change my category to large icon so I can see everything. And I'm going to look for File Explorer options, which is here on the right. Click on that, and right here. Click items as follows. Single click to open an item. We're going to select that. We're going to say OK. And you're going to see these icons on the left. They'll be highlighted. with a line under them when I hover over them. I'll close the control panel, and now instead of double clicking the control panel, I just single click it. There's other stuff I do, but that's pretty basic. Well, I want to get Windows installed. This is a clean install, so I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. Appreciate if you guys would subscribe. You guys are amazing. I love everybody watching. Please, questions, we're here to help. Ask. Keep it civil. You don't know who else might be listening, because a lot of people follow the discussion and dialogue. We're very engaged with all of our subscribers. So if you guys need some help, let us know. We'd like to hear from you. Look forward to seeing the next video, and I think we are done. Thanks for watching. Okay, Windows is up. Let's go ahead and plug in the network, get our updates done. Here's another distinction. Once I plug in the network cable, I want to show you guys right quick. If you'll notice, it says once I plugged in the network cable, do you want to allow your PC to be discoverable by other PCs and devices of the network? I'm going to say yes, because I think this is a really important thing to happen. Otherwise, it's a hassle to go back and fix. Now, even though I'm on the network, there are still some things I have to go through and set. We might go through that later in another video about networking. Historically, not a lot of people have been interested in networking, and I think it's crucial when you've got more than one computer using, where you can send files back and forth. If you're interested, let us know. We'll do a video about that. Okay, I think we're good to go. Now, what I'm going to do is bring up Windows Flag I. I'll scroll down, go to Update and Security. We'll look at Windows Update. We'll check for updates. We go through these updates, we'll see what else is available. That's the reason we have the network plugged in. And there they come. So we're going to go ahead and let those updates run, do their thing. And it wants to restart right now to start pulling some of them and installing them. Restart now, pending install. So we're good for that. So we're going to go ahead with that, say restart now. Restarting. So while that's working, we're going to let that sit, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.